Course in Miracles is releasing ourselves from the programs of the past, of the ego that don't actually work, these survival programs. Like I think they're getting me what I want, but they're not really. They're not really. There's an easier, softer way. I've been insisting on the hard way. And could I just notice that, allow that, accept that without making right or wrong of it? Just notice, oh, I did that. I did that. I was believing that. And could I let it go? Could I let it go? So today in lesson 80, let me recognize my problems have been solved. So yesterday it was let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. What's the problem? I believe I'm separate from everything and everyone. I believe I have 1,000 different problems instead of one problem. And so could I recognize the one problem so that it can be solved? Could let me recognize this problem so it can be solved? And now that I recognize the problem, can I let me recognize that my problems have been solved? Let me allow for a solution. So, as we release today, we'll go through this insistence on a problem and this refusal of a solution. It goes hand in hand. I'm insisting I have a problem. I'm refusing a solution. And that is preventing me from recognizing my problems have been solved. If I can release on both sides of this, then I can have an experience of my problems being solved. And there is not one problem that is unsolved. Unsolved. The very nature, the very existence of a problem comes with a solution. There was no worksheet you did in school where there was a problem and there wasn't a solution. There was always a solution. Always. Whether you knew it or not, there was a solution. So if you're willing to recognize your problems, you will recognize that you have no problems. If you're willing to recognize your problems, you will recognize that you have no problems because they have been solved. There is a solution. It is already done. It came with the seeming problem. So let's begin. Lesson 80, let me recognize my problems have been solved. So where have you been insisting you have a problem? And it's okay. I have a health issue, a pain issue. I have a relationship issue. I have a money issue. I have a job issue, a family issue. You notice there might be thousands of them, but you might just allow yourself to notice some places where you've been claiming, insisting a problem. And can you notice this obsession with an insistence on a problem? What am I going to do about it? What does it mean? How can I solve it? Mostly it's not focused on the solution, though, is it? Rather than insist on a solution, I'm insisting there's a problem and it's going to be there. So I'm going to learn all about it. I'm going to learn all about this problem because why? I'm planning to keep it. So could you simply notice what it feels like to be insisting on a problem, to be focusing on a
Mm.
problem, and thereby completely ignoring its solution, its resolution. Taking any problem you seem to have, could you notice what it feels like to be subscribed to it, to be subscribed to problem? How does it feel to be insisting on trying to prove, trying to figure out, trying to understand a problem? Could you acknowledge that feeling? Could you open up to it? Could you simply welcome this energy, this feeling that's just been hanging out, noticing it, feeling it? And could you release that feeling, that problem? Let it be solved. Would you release this feeling? When could you release this energy, this feeling, perpetuating a problem, and allow for solution to be there? Hmm. And it might seem like you have many different problems. That's okay. Look, could you open up, allow the unconscious to spill its guts, the subconscious? These problems, right? Seems like that. Relationships, health, money. Just noticing any problems that seem to be hanging out. And why what's going on where I don't where I'm having problems? I'm ignoring solutions. I'm ignoring resolution. Could you notice what it feels like to be caught in the problem? Any problem, just taking one of them, it's all the same. You notice the feeling of insisting on, focusing on. How does it feel when you think about a problem? Hmm. And could you feel that? Could you, without judging or moralizing about it, just feel what it feels like when you focus on or think about a problem? Could you simply let that energy flow, that feeling flow as best you can? And could you let go? Let go of the feeling, let go of the problem. Would you let go if you could and have resolution? When could you let go? You never have to. Just when could you? And the problem comes with the solution. So, what are some problems you've been carrying for who knows how long? Days, months, years, decades? Favorite problems. The ones insisted on. And this is not to judge or moralize about. We all do it or have done it at some time. So, just noticing the claim, the defense of, the projection of, the perpetuation of a problem. Any problem will do. And behind the scenes in the mind of what the problem is, could you notice how it feels to be subscribed to this problem? Could you allow yourself to feel what it feels like to have this, seemingly have this problem? And could you surrender the problem? Give it up? That energy, that feeling, one feeling behind all the problems. Would you let go of this feeling and have one solution for all the problems? When could you surrender, turn over this problem for a solution? A solution that's always been there. Let me recognize my problems have been solved. Let me recognize my one problem as one solution. Let me recognize that there is an answer to any seeming question or problem. They're one and the same. And if there's this solution and it's there, as soon as a problem's noticed, the solution is there. As soon as a question is asked, an answer is there. And you notice any refusal of the solution, any resisting, denying, objecting to the solution. And could you feel what it feels like to be refusing, rejecting, objecting to, or resisting a solution. It's all the same thing. Just call it resistance. An energy, a feeling, the only problem. And could you let the thoughts drift by? You can't really stop the thoughts. The thoughts are automatic depending on what frequency, what feeling is running. You just ignore them. Ignore these thoughts and pictures, stories, voices in the head. Could you just ignore them and feel what it feels like to be resisting the solution? Could you allow that resistance, as much of it as is there, whatever it feels like, wherever it is, could you notice, feel all of it, all of the resistance to the solution, the one solution for all your problems? Couldn't be one solution for all of my problems. Resistance. Nope, not going to have that one solution. There's not one thing that's going to solve all of these problems. You just notice what it feels like to be resisting, refusing, objecting to one solution for all your problems. And could you let go of resisting one solution? Would you let go of resisting one solution for all your problems? When could you let go? Have a solution. Let me recognize all of my problems have been solved. One problem, one solution. Many seeming problems, one solution. And can you notice if the mind, the ego rejects that, refuses it? Could you feel what it feels like to be insisting that your problems don't have a solution, that there isn't one solution? This refusal, objection of a solution. What does it feel like to be doing that when you think there isn't a solution? Could you feel more and think less? All the thinking in the world, the worrying, doesn't really do anything to accept the solution. Just resist it. Could you allow yourself to let the thoughts swim by without biting at them, and let that feeling run itself out just by letting it be there. Could you let that feeling happen? Let the resistance to the solution be there. Open up, let it run out. Notice it, feel it. And could you release and have a solution? Would you release and let the problems be solved? Recognize their solution, their resolution. Would you release this resistance to the solution and recognize your problems have been solved? Let me recognize my problems have been solved. And the world which we've subscribed to, perhaps even created in our innocence, loves to insist on problems, focus on problems, and just blind to the solutions that are there. Nope, not going to look at that. Not going to see the solution. Nope. Can you notice anywhere where you're resisting or refusing a solution? Anywhere where you're cutting yourself off from pushing away a solution, one solution to your problem. And that's okay. We all do it at times. So, without judging or moralizing about it, making good or bad of it, you notice what it feels like to be resisting the solution that's already there. And could you make that bigger? How much resistance is in your reservoir? How much padding have you given yourself between you and the solution? Could you allow yourself to just open it up? Feel however much has been stored, wherever it is, whatever it is, that resistance to the solution. Could you feel it more? However much is there, wherever it is, whatever it is, could you simply feel this resistance feeling, resisting the solutions? Happening anytime you think you have a problem. And could you give it up, surrender it, drop the resistance, recognize your problem solved? Would you surrender and let yourself recognize your problems have been solved? When could you surrender and let yourself recognize your problem as a solution? It's already done. Let me recognize my problems have been solved. Assure yourself often today that your problems have been solved. Repeat the idea with deep conviction as frequently as possible. Let me recognize my problems have been solved. And be particularly sure to apply the idea for today to any specific problem that may arise. Let me recognize this problem has been solved. Let us be determined not to collect grievances today. Let us be determined to be free of problems that do not exist. The means is simple honesty. Do not deceive yourself about what the problem is, and you must recognize it has been solved. Let me recognize my problems have been solved. Freedom from conflict has been given you. Accept that fact, and you are ready to take your rightful place in God's plan for salvation. So, well done releasing. And oof, what a topic. I mean, it does seem like there's so many problems sometimes. But the course says right in the beginning, you may resist, refuse, or reject these lessons. Do them anyway. Do them anyway. The problem's already been solved. Nothing you have to worry about. Already done. Um, and let's see. I don't know what's the best way to get in touch, Arnoff. Feel free to look me up on uh, Facebook or Instagram. Um, Instagram at Discover Graceways or at Release to Results, or head on over to the website, release2results.com. Links in the description. Um, and yeah, we do a lot of releasing outside of just this. Yeah, at Discover Graceways or at Release to Results on Instagram. I've got two accounts. And because we'd love to have you in the group, and it's free for 14 days. So we do a lot. Over the last year, we read Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender, 2 or 3 times as a group. Oh, that's my name. And we also read Transcending the Levels of Consciousness as a group together. Um, and we read the Sedona Method as a group together, because this is really these books have all of the answers in them, and we review them again and again and again and again. How do you um, release effectively? You just do it. But it's described very well in chapter 2 of Letting Go: The Pathway of Surrender. You allow the feeling to be there. You let it be there without moralizing about it, judging it, and you let it go. Uh, yeah, no, it, it, it so from you allow that feeling until it runs out. That's it. That's it. It's so simple, so easy, and it'll save you millions of dollars uh, over trying to, buy other more expensive solutions to your problems. What if all you had to do was release, let go, let God? Um, so Arnav, the website, you actually don't pay anything. It does take a credit card or a debit card, but it doesn't charge you for 14 days, and you don't have to subscribe afterwards. Come play with us for 14 days. See what you can release. Ask your questions. Bring your topics. Free for 14 days. Would love to have you. And yeah, uh, let's see. Highly sensitive person. Guidance for a highly sensitive person. Feel the feelings. Quit resisting them. Allow yourself to really feel the feelings instead of trying not to feel the feelings. The sensitivity will run out because the feelings will run out. All of us are sensitive until we release our feelings and our charges about stuff. The slightest word or look somebody gives us when we're charged with feelings feels like, ah, how could they look at me that way? How could they say that thing? When I'm carrying a lot of feelings, I'm very, very sensitive. Another word for sensitive is reactive. I'm very, very reactive to what people, places, and things seem to be doing. When I release my feelings about things, it get that reactivity, that sensitivity goes down and down and down and down. And then the very same thing or person that used to bother you so much just doesn't anymore. So, um, highly suggested just keep releasing. If you're having feelings, don't resist them. Also, ignoring the thoughts will save you hours and hours and hours. If you just can ignore the thoughts and just feel the feeling and just be letting it go, surrendering it to God, whatever works for you, however you like to do it. Some people like the word release, some people like the word letting go, some people like the word surrender. You could surrender to God, surrender to your higher self, whatever you like. Just surrender and see what happens for you. So Arno, yeah, I just love that you've been here on all these sessions. I hope you're getting some results. You're feeling some of that lightness that comes through when we release on some of this stuff. And yeah, look forward to seeing you guys in the next session. Have the best day.